Twitter has a new CEO, but her background has people concerned for the future of Twitter. So on May 11th, Elon announced on Twitter that he would be announcing his new hire for CEO. A day after that tweet, he told us the new CEO would be a woman named Linda Yaccarino. Now, this news set Twitter ablaze because of this woman's connections and past employers. It has me concerned as well because Twitter under Musk's rule has it's been a chaotic place, but it's been a little bit more reasonable, at least for me. And this lady's track record suggests that the new Twitter would be something that she would like to change. So let's look at Miss Yaccarino's history published on her LinkedIn. All right, so as we can see here, this is Linda Yaccarino's LinkedIn. And so let's scroll down to her experience here. So she, from 1992 to 2011, worked for Turner Broadcasting. And from 2011 till this year, May 2023, worked for NBC Universal Media. Now, that's a little concerning, but it's not the most concerning thing here. So let's scroll down to organizations here. So Linda Yaccarino is the executive chair for the World Economic Forum from January 2019 to present. So that right there should raise red flags to anyone who is concerned about Twitter keeping its free speech policy. And for those who don't know, the WEF is a global forum of elite billionaires who want to shape the world in their image by infiltrating politics, business, culture, and leaders that help shape industry. And here's Klaus Schwab, the leader and creator of the WEF, to explain the mission of the WEF.
Dear friends, let me share with you why the World Economic Forum can be of great service in our complex and fast-changing global system. Let's go back to the origin. In 1970, as a young professor at the University of Geneva, I wrote a book on modern management. I started writing this book asking myself the crucial question, what is the purpose of a corporation? In the book, I pioneered the stakeholder concept, which was avant-garde at the time, arguing that business should not serve only its shareholders, but all those who have a stake in the destiny of the company, such as employees, society, and the planet. As a consequence, I created the forum as a not-for-profit foundation, with the idea in mind of a global village where all stakeholders could interact on the most important issues of our time. Over the last 50 years, I have further developed the stakeholder concept into a global business citizenship approach, stating that business, together with governments and civil society, must be an active and responsible stakeholder in addressing global problems. Today, the concept of stakeholder capitalism, as well as the idea that the complex issues in our world can only be solved through public-private cooperation, is finally becoming mainstream. Stakeholder responsibility on a corporate but also on a global level remains the fundamental underlying principle behind everything we are doing.
Looks like a Bond villain, huh? So the key word we have to focus on here is stakeholder. He said it several times within that speech, and it's what he built his ideology on. So the stakeholder theory is that governments do not make policy. It is a global coalition of corporations that make policy. And that right there should scare everyone. There's a group of billionaire elites that want to govern the world and shape it into their image. You know what that is? That's fascism in its purest form. The WEF wants to implement a global fascist society. They're just not calling it that. They're hiding it behind words like stakeholder capitalism, global constituents, inclusivity, sustainability, and generational growth. And here's a clip from the WEF that predicts what the world will be like in 2023 under their rule. And mind you, I don't think these are predictions, but more of a guarantee of what is to come. 8 predictions for the world in 2023. You will own nothing and be happy. Whatever you want, you'll rent, and it'll be delivered by drone. The US won't be the world's leading superpower. Oh, really? A handful of countries will dominate. You won't die waiting for an organ donor. We won't transplant organs, we'll print new ones instead. You'll eat much less meat. I like meat. An occasional treat, not a staple, for the good of the environment and our health. 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change, We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Polluters will have to pay carbon dioxide taxes. There will be a global price on carbon. This will help make fossil fuels history. You could be preparing to go to Mars. Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space, the start of the journey to find alien life. Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. Democracy, huh? Democracy means that people have the right to choose what happens in their governance. Their vision does not fit within a democracy because people don't like being told what to do. Just like people don't like being told what they can and can't say. Under that rule, there would be no such thing as free speech, something that we as Americans hold near and dear to our heart. The fact that a current World Economic Forum chairman is now the CEO of Twitter, the global town square, should worry everyone because she has a fiduciary responsibility to members of the WEF. And just in case you were wondering what her priorities as Twitter CEO would be, she basically spells them out in an interview with Elon Musk.
For example, you've said you probably shouldn't tweet after 3 a.m.
Well, I've got myself
Probably good advice for all of us.
I've gotten myself into trouble a few times.
I'm very aware of those. So after 3 a.m., you travel all over the world. Lord knows how you handle time zones in space. Will you commit to be a little more specific and not tweet after 3 a.m.? People in this room would like to see that. We'll make them feel more confident.
I will aspire to tweet less after 3 a.m. But I mean, it is important that, if I were to say, yes, you can influence me, that would be wrong. That would be very wrong. Because that would be a diminishment of freedom of speech.
But I want to be specific about influencing. It's more of an open feedback loop for the advertising experts in this room to help develop Twitter into a place where they will be excited about investing.
It's about the advertisers.
Product development, ad safety,
Sure.
content moderation. That's what the influence is.
Yeah, I think it's totally cool to say that you want to have your advertising appear in certain places in Twitter and not in other places. But it is not cool to try to say what Twitter will do. And if that means losing advertising dollars, we lose it. But freedom of speech is paramount.
Well, I hope that statement holds true under her reign, Elon, because that's not her agenda, as we obviously heard. Her agenda is not free speech. Her agenda is what's best for corporations and advertisers. That's what she cares about because that is her job. She wants corporations to control speech via their pocketbook. That means if advertisers do not like or believe a politician's beliefs are controversial or hateful, they can say, we don't like what that person is saying, so we would like you to throttle that person's reach, or we will pull our advertising. That's what's coming under her reign. That's what's coming, man. She's not going to give a fuck. She's going to be like, yeah, you know what? But it's really hurting our pocketbook letting these people over here say what they want to say. So let's ban them. We're going to go back to the old days of Twitter. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully Elon Musk holds true to his word that he would rather have free speech and lose advertisers than it be vice versa. But we'll see.